What's going on? Elijah here. We're doing a video on assessing your lawn. So we're going to look at a couple of different areas. I got Jim here too. We're going to look at a couple of different areas and then how to approach, what do we do to fix it. So we're going to take you along for the ride. So first, we have this area right here where the lawn doesn't look good. We're trying to figure out what to do. So Jim, how would you assess this area here? You can kind of see the little trail of not look good.
Yep, so this is a path that we employees use for getting into the building every day. So high foot traffic area. The best way to revitalize a lawn like this is to aerate and overseed the grass. So what that does is break up compaction and gets new grass seed in there to green it up.
Sweet. Now if our lawn is we got another area down here, and you can get that, where it's wow, there's no lawn there at all, really. What should be my plan of action? We got a little bit of grass over here. Can I kind of fertilize that and maybe hope for a lawn, or what should I do here?
So if we had ran a soil test already and determined that there was enough organic matter in this soil to grow a lawn, what we'd do is remove the stones as much as possible using a Harley rake and rock hound, and then we'd grade and seed the area or apply sod. But this is a case where you need.
And when you're saying organic matter, you're talking about black dirt, essentially, right?
Black dirt. Organic matter is the percentage of the soil that has essentially compost material in there. So you're looking for 2 to 4% organic matter for that lawn.
Makes sense. And then we had kind of talked before we started the video rolling, I'm not doing a good job of facing the camera, but if our lawn looks like this here, where now we have it's not all clay and sand, it looks better and there's some grass. I don't know, what would you recommend for this area here?
For this area, I would apply a broad spectrum herbicide to the area, kill off all of the vegetation in it, because we have a lot of perennial weeds in here, which will continue to grow if all we did was top soil and seed the area. So in order to get you a lawn, if that was desired, we'd have to first kill the weeds in here and then put down some topsoil.
Can we just seed. So we can't just fertilize this to success?
That would be a very, very long and drawn out process.
Okay.
Which
so if I wanted to just a Band-Aid, I maybe could though? Or I don't know, to get it looking better, because I don't want to spend the money on a whole new lawn.
I'll put it this way.
Or should I wait
you're going to have greener weeds if you fertilize it. If that's okay with you, then we can certainly fertilize.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Let's walk over here and look at this. So over here we got a ton of dandelions. I guess, well, there's a couple different styles, right? So we have this, which I'm assuming you can stop there, Dre. And then Jim, why don't you come over here? So we got this, which I'm assuming is going to be the same more or less as what we talked about for over there, right?
Yep, it's a new lawn situation. A lot of gravel in there, which will work its way up to the surface, get flinged by a mower or tripped on as you walk around. So we want to remove as much of the stone as possible before doing the soil and seed.
Okay. Now, if our lawn looks now we have obviously lots of different styles. I'm not talking about the straw area here. I'm talking about the sort of in between the straw and then the edge of the off the driveway where we put some sod down. There's a ton of dandelions, a ton of weeds, but it looks like there's quite a bit of grass there too. What's the plan of action for that?
So putting aside the issue of some bumps and humps we can see in there, killing off the dandelions is just done with a post-emergent herbicide. Here at Western, we call that a round 2 application. So a fertilizer and an herbicide is put down. Herbicide kills the weeds. Fertilizer makes the grass healthy.
And then that's different from round 1, which is the pre-emergent.
Good question. Yeah, round 1 is a pre-emergent, which prevents the annual seeds, weed seeds, which are in the soil, from germinating this spring. All the weeds you see in here are perennial weeds, which were dormant throughout the winter and are now flowering.
As you can see.
Yes.
Do you have a good view? Can the video see the? Don't turn it that way because it's going to be sideways. There you go. So
so we've got plantain, clover, dandelion, those are all just common turf weeds
And so
here
for
in
this one, you're
Wisconsin.
saying we could fertilize it. I mean, obviously,
You
like you
could
might need to
fertilize.
patch seed some of this a
You
little bit.
should follow up with, because of the patchiness, you should follow up with a fall slit seeding.
Okay.
But a space like this, it's not exactly a sports field or like athletic quality turf. You
Yeah.
know, be in the slopey location. I don't think it's important to seed
Okay.
it at this time of year. Just do it in the fall. That's a better time
Okay.
generally.
And then while we're on the topic of like patchy lawns, how do I know if it's patchy because of like an issue with my soil or an issue with, I don't know, like maybe I need to like overseed or something, or if it's my dog causing the problems? Like, you know, if I have a dog, right, it's coming out there and peeing in the lawn,
Mm-hmm.
I like my hunch is that's what's causing it. How do I know, and what do I do about that?
Well, dog damage is pretty easy to spot. Either you have a dog or you don't. And it leaves pretty obvious burn patterns. Um, we would take many hours to discuss all the turf diseases that are out there.
Okay.
But generally speaking, turf disease would be like discoloration of the turf,
Okay.
or like circles, very obvious circle marks appearing
Yeah.
when there's no obvious reason why that would be happening.
Okay, so if I don't have a dog, you're saying it's more, or it's potentially a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if I do have a dog, then it's more than likely
It's
a dog,
more,
especially if obviously if it's like right where you let the dog out,
absolutely,
and it's not in the front yard. No, that makes sense. And how do I best solve like the dog damage? Like, can I just like get a fertilizer program, or is it just like a problem that's just going to always be there?
a fertilize and seed program. When the dog kills the grass, it kills the grass. So you're
Okay.
not going to get new growth in there. You need to put fresh seed down.
Okay. Okay.
Since you're doing it on an annual basis, anyways, when you have a dog, presumably, you can put down faster growing annual seeds, annual grass seeds,
Okay.
which will die off in the winter, but will grow in faster in the spring and summer.
Okay.
So you can have a greener lawn while keeping your dog.
Okay, cool. And then while we're at it, we got one more kind of thing to look at, I would say, because we got this elephant in the room behind us. We got this grass that's coming in here. What should I do with this? I don't know how long ago it was seeded. Based on the looks of it, it looks like it was seeded fairly recently. Obviously, it's not good. Do I just wait for the seed to come in and see what happens, or?
Yeah, if this was seeded last fall, I would have liked to see a lot more germination by this point.
And it's currently like May 7th.
It is May 7th,
when we're filming the video.
2025.
Yeah.
No, we should pull the netting off and put more seed down
Okay.
in these areas.
Would I need to add topsoil too, or just seed?
It's unlikely that the topsoil would be needed. There should be fresh dirt underneath.
So just pull the netting off, be gentle with it, don't tear it, not add topsoil, add seed, and then continue to water it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you would just cut around, take your knife, cut around these areas where the grass has already grown in.
Okay.
Because we might cause more damage by tearing off the netting from the growing grass than it's worth.
So if you can see well in the video, you'd take a scissors and like cut what Jim's saying like here. Whereas like the grass is growing pretty well right here. If we pull this out, we could actually just do more damage to
we might pull out
grass.
some of the grass when we do that.
Okay, cool. I think that's a pretty good addressed quite a few different areas. Do you see any other ones that we should talk about, Jim? I think we covered like 6 different ones.